What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Nick Williams Show. My name is Nick Williams. I'm an independent filmmaker and producer north of Boston. And before we get started, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel, the whole nine, all the YouTube things. Joining me today, well-known, world-renowned director, writer extraordinaire, Mr. Kris Salvi. Kris, thanks for being here.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
So I wanted to have you on because I feel like we have very similar takes on this industry in general. And you want to, for the people at home, why don't you tell us about yourself? Pull that in nice and close.
All right.
Yeah.
Is that good right there?
Perfect. Yeah.
Well, I'm a filmmaker, writer, actor.
Are you originally from Mass?
I'm originally from Massachusetts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm originally from Massachusetts. I lived in California for a little while.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. That's why I left. I lived kind of all over.
Yeah.
I was in Burbank for a little while. I lived out there. I lived in a.
Were you working in the industry in Burbank?
Yeah, I worked in preferably downtown LA. I worked for some studios in Burbank. I was doing extra work. I got a lot of extra work there.
Did you want to be an actor?
No. At the time, no, I didn't. I got hooked up with a friend of mine. My brother's an editor out in California.
Oh, that's cool.
So he edits a lot of stuff. And for a while, the most recent time I was in LA actually was probably 2018, 2017, something like that. I went back out there and I did a movie. But no, at the time I did not want to be, I didn't know, I was very young. I didn't know anything about acting or writing or directing. My friend hooked me into it.
Yeah.
And he was like, hey man, we can make some money doing this. And yeah. And that was kind of, that's really what I was concerned about at that time.
Yeah.
Money and women.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I thought, all right, here's the place. And I think I was one of the few people that when I got out there, because my friend was like, oh man, you're going to love it. It's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. And I remember going out there and I remember being like, okay.
Yeah. It's just not that great.
This is it.
Yeah.
It's sunny. It's too sunny. It's too hot. I went out there in July. And then I remember Christmas time. I remember waking up. It was December.
Yeah.
In Southern California.
98 degrees.
Still the same fucking weather. I didn't know what fucking day it was.
Yeah.
It felt Twilight Zone-ish. Everybody out there wanted to talk to me about health and fitness. And I'm out there smoking my cigarettes and drinking my black coffee. And
Which, by the way, if you go back, and I always, everybody says an art form. I agree it's an art form. If you look at anything else, you go look at one of those old school, documentaries of an artist who's a painter or whatever, and they're sitting in their studio. They light up the cigarette. They're disheveled.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it. I personally, I really enjoy all the different personalities that are out here.
Yeah.
Nobody in LA is from LA.
No, they're all ex-New Yorkers. They're all ex-East Coasters.
And they're in this place where they need to meet they got to shake the right hand. They got to talk to the right people.
You got to grease palms out there, backslap,
Right. And so you're inherently fake. You're inherently in this position of oh, well, I got to make sure that you like me enough or any of this other stuff. And you come out here and people will be like, you're a fucking asshole.
Oh, yeah.
Get the hell away from me.
Absolutely.
Which I think is fantastic.
Yeah.
I laughed at stuff like that.
No, it's really, I think I used to call it bartering personalities.
Yep.
When I went out there, I could see how people changed and everything, and they became a little bit more cliquey with the right people, the quote unquote right people.
Yeah.
And the sad part about all of it is that I probably could have had a career out there. I remember
I probably could have too.
Yeah, I probably could have had I remember a couple of big wigs kind of telling me.
Is it sad though?
No.
Well, you said the sad part. That's why I'm saying, is it sad?
Well, the sad part is,
who wants to be that?
Well, the sad part about it is that I not so much be an LA actor, but I probably could have gotten started more so into acting and directing more so than like later on. Later on, I really got into it.
Yeah.
I didn't really give a shit about, you know, who liked me or who didn't like me, and I was very much a renegade. And I remember a couple of like big wigs at the time being like, dude, you got this poor man's Johnny Depp thing going on. And I had the leather jacket and everything. You know, it's 80 degrees. I'm still wearing a leather jacket.
Yeah.
Everybody out there, it's weird. Everybody out there admires East Coast culture, but they don't want to be East Coast.
They want
culture.
They want the fun parts of East Coast culture. You know,
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people. I don't know if it's the snow. I don't know if it's the different, you know, the changing seasons, whatever.
Yeah.
But East Coast culture, there's a lot of pain and there's a lot of suffering.
There
and
is.
I don't mean in like a I need therapy kind of way. I mean, a lot of us do, I'm sure.
Yeah,
but
we
like,
certainly do.
right. But it's like
Me included.
there's this everything around us kind of sucks sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
And so East Coast people are really good at dealing with that. And that's the culture. That's what it is. You know, you go, what are you going to do? Like, that's very East Coast.
It's got a
you know?
very Italian mob boss-like philosophy.
Kind
you
of,
know, like,
yeah.
what are you going to do about it? Yeah, it had to be done, right? You know?
Right. And it doesn't matter what your culture is.
No,
like
it
when you're out
doesn't.
here, that's just who you are.
Yeah,
You know?
out there, people sweat. They literally, they don't even sweat the small stuff. They sweat the sweat stuff. You know what I mean? They sweat to sweat almost. Yep. They freak out just to freak out, you know? Like, I remember a friend of mine one time, he called me out in LA. He's like, you got to help me. Just talk to me, man. Just talk to me for a minute. I'm like, what's wrong, dude? What's the problem? What is it? I thought maybe, I don't know, he got kicked out of his house or something.
Yeah, something detrimental.
Something detrimental. He told me, he said, I can't get a table at the Palm or something like that. He's like, I can't get a table right now. And I'm flipping out, dude. My main man, this producer buddy who I'm trying to get in good with, is in there and I can't get in. And I'm like, well, fuck it, man. Like, who the fuck cares, dude? You know, like, do you see this guy every day? And he's like, not every day, but I see him. I'm like, you got his phone number? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, give him a call later today.
Can we talk about the fact, now? Can we talk about, yeah.
Why don't you call him right now and say, let me the fuck in this restaurant?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like your movie bombs or you're part of a movie that didn't do so well, you can't get a fucking table at the restaurant that you like to eat at. You know, that's the...
Yeah, that's so dumb.
It's the disease out there. It
doesn't make any sense to me.
No.
So when did you move back out here?
I was living out there in like the early to like late 2000s, pretty much.
Okay.
And I moved back around here probably around the same time I like went to college. It was like 2010, 2011, something like that. And that's when I really started to like get... Well, actually, I flip-flopped back and forth while I was in LA. I was East Coast, and then I was, you know, out there, and then I went back to the East Coast, and then back there. So I think of it more as like almost like an extended paincation. You know, like almost like a vacation, and then it was like coming back here. I was like, oh, I'm so glad to be back. I missed the seasons. I even missed the snow. I never thought I would miss the snow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But everything's hot out there. You touch a doorknob and it's hot.
Yeah,
you know,
crack an egg on the sidewalk. That kind of shit.
I just couldn't get into it, man. I just couldn't vibe. I couldn't vibe.
You always got to watch what you say, and people are going to be offended by everything.
And I think the food was really bland.
It's crap. Everything's crap. It's just, it's fake. Everything out there is a facade.
It's very much a fake.
You know, everything's like, oh, look at this. This is a hot new thing for today. Then tomorrow it'll be this thing over here. And
I feel like it's not even for today. It's for this hour.
Right. You can't even keep up with this shit anymore. You know?
Here's a new thing for the next, 1 hour. Yeah. And then after that, we'll move on to something like that. So I came back to the East Coast, and then I went to college. And then when I was in college, I started getting into filmmaking first. Making films. I made short films on...
Why? What was the bug? What made you want to do that?
I was kind of a lost cause in college. I was like a little punk when I was a kid.
Yeah.
You know, in high school, I was always roaming the halls. And,
same. I'm the same way.
Always had like a group of like other punky friends and never paid attention and shit.
People thought you were stupid because you didn't do well in school.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. People still think I'm stupid.
Well, and people think I'm stupid too.
Yeah,
what are you going to do?
And who knows? They might be right.
I know. I was just going to say.
Yeah.
Oh, if my father's watching this, he's going to be like, yes, you are. You're an idiot.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I knew he was dumb this whole time. I feel like the more I open my mouth, they're like, yeah, he is stupid. But, I never really, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I went to college. I took medical science for a little while. I wanted to be a doctor. And I found out I really was stupid, and you need to go to school for like 7 years, and can't do that. Took journalism for a little while, but I was always interested in writing. I was always even when I was little, I was always interested in writing.
Interesting.
And I thought when I was in California, I thought maybe that could be like an in for me, that I could maybe, as I get older, I'll stay out here. Maybe I'll get a writing job or something like that.
Right.
But when I went back to college, I took creative writing, and then creative writing led to me writing more screenplays. And then I don't know what happened. Somewhere in the middle of that, I was like, what happens if these screenplays come to life?
Right.
And I remember my friend was like, you can take broadcasting, dude. You can take a broadcasting class. They teach you about radio and film and shit. And then I took a broadcasting class, got hooked on just the whole technique of just like radio, doing voices for radio.
Yeah, I was going to say, you should have a radio show.
I was actually a college DJ for a little while.
That's not surprising.
Yeah,
to me.
no, I had two personalities. I was like a morning host where I was like, right now the traffic is backed up across the 495, and you'll be coming in at, I can't remember what the channel was, but it was like, you're listening to Hard Rock 78.
Yeah.
And then I stopped doing the morning show, and then they needed someone for a midnight hour. And that was like, no one listened at the midnight hour. So I was this DJ. I was Captain Midnight. I was like, hey, all you cats and kittens, how you doing? This Captain Midnight here, playing the cool, soothing sounds of Miles Davis.
I like
Sketches of Spain. The only people that used to call would be like, I don't know who the Captain Midnight is, but his voice scares the shit out of me. and so I stopped doing that.
Yeah.
And then, not to get into the whole preamble, but when I discovered what you can do with a camera, like the 16 millimeter camera, loading the film, editing the film, I really started to get addicted to making film, like films, like movies. And it started off small, started off with just like visuals. I edit like a bunch of trees blowing, I shoot a bunch of trees blowing in the wind, that kind of shit. And then eventually my friend was like, you could take a filmmaking class. You can go from broadcasting, if you do broadcasting, you can also do filmmaking.
Sure, yeah.
So I took filmmaking. I think it was, I don't know what it was. It was like intro to film, something like that. That's when I really was like, oh shit.
This is the thing.
This is the thing, man. This is what I want to fucking do.
Did you ever were you into watching movies and stuff growing up?
I loved movies. Yeah. I loved movies. I used to watch movies. I used to go to, there's not so many old cinemas anymore, old art house cinemas, but there were a lot of old art house cinemas here on the East Coast that used to, there's still the Coolidge in Boston or in Cambridge.
Yep.
There's still the Brattle.
Yep. Somerville Theater's not bad.
Somerville Theater's not bad, but there used to be older theaters that played older movies all the time.
Yeah.
And when I was little, there was a channel coming up, which everybody knows what it is now, but at the time it was brand new. It was called AMC.
Yeah.
And AMC was kind of like what Turner Classic Movies is now. They played a lot of older movies, older westerns, John Ford westerns. They played Wizard of Oz, Citizen Kane. I think I saw Citizen Kane on TV when I was like 7 years old.
Yeah.
I was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And especially now it's October, so back in the day, I remember watching Frankenstein and all those monster movies. Those are all Turner Classic Movies.
I think that's really honestly what hooked me into film. I'm known in the area, I guess, for making a lot of crime stuff, and a lot of that is just
crime films.
Crime films, yes, crime films.
Not committing crimes.
Not actually doing crime, anymore.
Right.
But
I've grown up since then.
Yes, that's right, a little bit. And I'm known for making more crime or thrillers or whatever, but what really hooked me when I was little was the horror movies. The Frankenstein, Dracula,
black and white ones.
Black and white ones. House of Frankenstein, Son of Frankenstein, the car that Frankenstein drove, the Wolfman,
Bride of Frankenstein.
Bride of Frankenstein. The Wolfman with Lon Chaney Jr. was like a huge influence on me.
Yeah.
That guy was so tormented. I was like, oh, I'm just like him.
Yep.
And then I watched a movie called Rebel Without a Cause, and that introduced me to Dean.
Yeah.
And and it just, it kept going on. So I grew up with more classic movies than I did modern. I didn't really start getting into what was modern.
How do you feel about modern cinema? I don't mean Tarantino. I mean like what comes out right now today. Everything to me, I'll put it this way because I don't want you to feel like it's like a gotcha.
No.
Everything to me is like this digital floating camera, teal and orange fest of bullshit. I can't stand it. I cannot stand it. And I watched with a buddy of mine very recently, Dog Day Afternoon, Al Pacino. By the
Sidney
way,
Lumet.
fantastic performance by Al Pacino.
Awesome.
My buddy goes, yeah, it was good. It felt really indie. I go, what? It felt really indie. What do you mean?
What the f***?
Well, hold on. This is not a filmmaker person.
Yeah.
It felt like an indie film.
Everything's indie to them.
Right. But I go, why do you say that? What do you think of indie film? Well, everything's like kind of low budget. It's in a single location. I go, you don't understand. I'm like, just because something isn't Avengers Endgame.
That's right.
Doesn't mean it's an indie film.
That's right.
Number one.
Yeah.
And when you say it like that, and I didn't get into a big argument, but I was like, when you say that feels very indie, you're saying it feels cheap.
Yes.
That's what you're saying.
You're saying it feels low budget.
So here's the thing with me, right? If you're making, I see the value in CGI. I see the value in these, higher budget things. What I don't understand is why it's a necessity in order to make it be a good film, And it's not, obviously the answer is it's not.
No.
But like, for me, I don't care if you want to have a dragon in your movie and you take a toy dragon and you hang it from some fishing line, whatever it is, in the background.
That's right.
It's the dragon in the movie.
That's
You're
the dragon
telling
in the movie.
a story.
Yes.
And just so everybody's aware, it's not real.
No,
None of this
it is.
is real.
It isn't real, and it doesn't have to be.
Right.
You know?
So like, and don't get me wrong, like, you do something like Harry Potter with a lot of CGI and everything. It looks great. But I love practical stuff. Big Christopher Nolan fan.
Oh, yeah, me too.
And I personally really enjoy, like, my favorite movies are stories about people.
That's right.
I want to see that someone else's life is just a little more twisted than mine.
Yeah,
Makes me feel better
Makes
about
you feel
my life.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you see people like Dog Day Afternoon, where, not to go on and on about it, but the guy is trying to rob a bank. There's no money in the bank.
That's right.
I mean, it's fantastic. What do you go through? That's a moment. That's a story. And just because it's a little bit older doesn't mean that it was cheap.
No.
Or that it wasn't,
that
it wasn't good.
It just because it's in a single location doesn't mean it's cheap.
Right. Look at The Whale. That's a recent one that just came out. It's in a single spot.
Reservoir Dogs.
Yep.
Reservoir Dogs.
Well, Reservoir Dogs is an indie film.
It is an indie film, but it doesn't feel cheap when you watch it.
No, it feels good.
It feels good.
It's an art. It's a piece of artwork.
It is.
It really is in and of itself.
And so, I mean, to answer your question about modern day cinema, I think it's a mixed bag for me. It's a mixed bag. Because,
I'm not saying that I haven't seen a film recently that I like. I see films that I like all the time.
Me too.
I don't know. For me, there's a couple of things just to set you up the right way. For me, there's a couple of different points that I have contentions with Hollywood. One has always been the gatekeeping. You can't do this unless you do it with us. Then if you're doing it with us, then you're a filmmaker. Me, okay?
Yeah.
Then that's A, that kind of supersedes everything else. And then B is this like, well, if you don't Michael Bay everything and you have no budget, you can't do anything.
Yeah, then you're not a filmmaker.
Or if you don't have big Hollywood names, that kind of stuff bothers me.
It bothers me too. And I think with modern day filmmaking, it is a mixed bag because I think nowadays, as opposed to, let's say, especially like the late 60s, early 70s with New Hollywood, where Hollywood kind of had to revolutionize themselves.
Yeah.
And kind of had to take a deep, dark look in the mirror and go, we got all these young filmmakers coming up and they're all doing something different. A film like Bonnie and Clyde from 1967 really revolutionized the game. I think it was like one of the first movies to show someone actually getting shot in the face and seeing what happens.
Right, exactly.
You had
as opposed to just
as opposed to just grabbing and like, don't get me wrong, I like that too.
Yeah, sure. Yes.
Like a lot of films, but you look at films that were coming out films like made by like Sam Peckinpah. Sam Peckinpah is one of my favorite filmmakers. Made like, in my mind, kind of revitalized the Western, made it different, like with Wild Bunch, movies like Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid.
Yep.
So I guess from the early 70s to the late 60s, going all the way up to maybe even the 20s.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying they didn't have stinkers then.
Sure.
But it seemed like every film back then was doing something different. You could see a progression, especially in even foreign cinema. Movies from like Akira Kurosawa. He was doing something really different. He was making almost westerns, but with samurai movies.
Yep.
Movies like, by Jean-Luc Godard, Breathless.
Mm-hmm.
He was really revolutionizing what it means to be like independent or whatever. And he was doing all these great, he invented the jump cut. Jean-Pierre Melville kind of revolutionized the crime genre with his like thievery type stories about thieves and loner hitmen's. How many loner hitmen movies do we see now?
Sure.
It's almost become like the stamp. Like, you make a hitman movie, it's got to be a loner.
Yeah.
And it's funny I say that too, because I actually did make a hitman movie in like 2019 called The Loner.
That's funny.
And it wasn't really, he wasn't like a samurai type character. He was just a hitman character who stuck to the old school ways of the mob while seeing the progressive changes around him. All his older friends were dead. All the younger guys didn't really respect him anymore.
Sure.
So he was, in a way, sort of like the loner. And I think with modern day films, you don't get that revolutionary change. You don't get that change that you see in cinema. Like you said, almost every film looks like it was shot the same.
Yeah, by the same. I mean, you got like Deakins and you got like, some standout people, but realistically speaking, the average movie kind of looks like, if you told me the same people made it every time, I'd go, okay.
I say this all the time, and I'm going to get flack for it. Almost every A24 film looks the same.
Yeah. Well, A24 definitely has a style that they go after.
They do, yeah.
When they're purchasing
but
films.
But like the lighting in a lot of movies looks the same. It's that clear, bright lighting. You can see everything.
Yeah, everything's a Wayfair commercial.
Everything looks like a Wayfair commercial, and just like a Wayfair commercial, everything from it breaks.
Yeah.
And so I wonder whatever happened to shadows, whatever happened to darkness.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you. So everything got way more costly and expensive. And the stupidest move, in my opinion, that Hollywood made was advertising their product, the movie, based on how much it cost them to make. You get stuck in this cycle of, this movie we made for $100 million. And people go, wow.
Yeah.
And
oh, wow, it must be good if it's $100 million
so this is the
budget.
thing. So now if the average person hears, we made this film for $25,000, they're going to go, the fuck is that,
man?
Right.
Yeah,
what's the point of seeing something like that, Yeah. Well, the point is that there's an artist telling a story. You should go see it. And for me, my biggest thing with Hollywood, the golden age, if you want to call it that, and I don't mean the actual, like in the 30s.
Yeah.
I mean, like, in the 40s, 50s, even 60s, they were pumping out a ton of like B movies.
They were.
Right?
Yes.
We need to go back to that.
Yeah.
We need to go back to pumping out, and I mean pumping out everything. And then also simultaneously, what I think would save the industry, I'm going to give too much of my plans away for the future, but I think that we should bring back like a $5 movie ticket and a tiered system of films.
Oh yeah, well, absolutely.
So you should have, like, you can see this one, it's going to be $30.
Yeah.
You can go see it at IMAX, it'll be $40. But there's also, what's it called? 50 other films you can see that are $5 a piece.
That's right. Go back to the poverty row of making films.
Right, but people are craving something to do. People don't even go to bars anymore. It's too expensive to get a drink with your friends.
You go to a city bar in Boston or something like that, $65 and your car.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And by the way, you need to tip us.
Yeah.
And I think with the industry and modern day films, because ticket prices are so expensive, like, I love the Coolidge. Don't get me wrong. I love what the Coolidge stands for and everything. Their ticket prices are rip.
How much is it at the
It's
Coolidge?
like $20.
Yeah,
And
but
then,
see, here's the problem.
And then you pay popcorn that's like also $30 and a soda and it has no butter on it.
Yeah. If you want butter, it's $10 more.
Yeah, yeah.
What needs to happen in this industry is we need to humble ourselves down. We need to take a little bit of a risk. That's the truth.
Yeah.
And when I say that, people go, well, you know, blah, blah, blah. Listen, first of all, there's like 6 movies that come out right now.
Yeah.
Because they're only making 6 because they each cost $200
million to make.
If you filled a theater on a month-to-month basis, and like the ones that do well, maybe they get another extra month, they carry over. You know what I'm saying? But if you filled a theater with Hollywood's 6 movies and 30 films from independent filmmakers, you could do it for $5. People would always have variety. They'd be able to walk in and they'd say, well, I want to see this one, I want to see that one, and then stop putting stuff on the streaming services immediately.
There's definitely a monopoly on cinema.
So, you know, I was just reading about this the other day, not to cut you off, but you'll find this interesting. So when they passed the monopoly law, because, you know, originally there were these like 7 Jewish immigrants that came here, the Warner Brothers.
Louis B. Mayer.
But originally they weren't making films.
No.
They owned the theaters.
That's right.
And then they saw that there was money as the technology between Thomas Edison and everything, as that
and the Lumiere brothers.
Right.
Yeah.
Because since that progressed, they said, well, we should make the films as well. And that's when the government stepped in. The law is written that the monopoly law for films is written such that they couldn't make the films, advertise the films, and control distribution of the films. Meaning you couldn't own the theater and be the filmmaker and be the...
That's right.
You're monopolizing a bunch of different businesses. Makes sense.
Makes sense, yes.
Also,
absolutely.
Recently that law expired, just so you know. So now you'll start seeing a Warner Brothers film theater pop up. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
But they should have broken it up all 3 ways. So you should have to go to an advertiser who can advertise your film. You know what I'm saying? They should have done it and broken it up even more so.
They should have,
They didn't. It is what it is.
Yes.
But they also made a deal with the theaters at the time that law was passed. They said, don't worry about advertising. We'll advertise our films. We'll make the films and advertise them. All we're asking you to do is host the films.
Yes.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Well, what incentive does a theater have to take a film from me?
That's right. Yeah.
If you got Superman for $200 million, that's also being advertised for $200 million. What guarantee do you have that my film's going to do any good?
That's right. And a lot of those times, those films are shoved off. It's why you don't see a lot of theaters anymore, like art house theaters, doing film festivals.
Right.
Because they're told, and I mean, I've been told personally, why the should I have your film premiere at my theater when I've got X-Men and Superman playing and I know that's going to take in money? Who's going to come and see your movie? Right. It doesn't matter how many friends you have or how many people know you or how many people you know. Why the should I have your theater? We're not about that. And it's funny, too, because they used to be.
Yeah.
They used to be about that. And they used to be like a lot of the art house theaters used to be about the local artists, the independent artists. We're a local theater. We advertise ourselves as a local theater. Let's bring in local filmmakers, local storytellers to have their movie play. I mean, you've still got Boston Open Screen. And I mean, thank God there's a lot of film festivals around here that will actually cater to that. But something is missing. Something is missing within these theater chains or these, not even the theater chains, because, like, I get that. Like, yeah, man, you're big business. You don't want my little independent film because that's how you're going to look at it. Right. You're going to look at it like it's a shitty little independent film. Mm-hmm. But the local art house theater, you should be taking my film. You should be catering, really, to me, motherfucker. But you're not. You're catering to big boy Warner Brother. Right. You know what I mean? Because you want to make that money. And I think that's the I'm going to get a lot of flack for saying this, but I think
I'd rather be honest.
I think the sick disease with movies and movie making and filmmaking, at the end of the day, it's a bottom line. It's money. And I don't know if Hollywood is an art form trying to be a business or a business trying to be an art form.
I think originally it was an art form trying to be a business.
I think so too.
And as the money flowed in, because people like to be entertained.
Yeah.
As the money flowed in, they corporatized, and just like everything else in the world, once something goes big corporate,
that's it.
That's when it's not human anymore.
Yeah. And I don't feel like, I mean, to put a wrap on the first question, I don't feel like that modern day movies are, I feel like they are more corporate than ever. They don't cater to human telling stories. And it's fucked up because when you do get a movie that is kind of like a human telling story, people describe it as independent.
Yeah.
It's an independent movie.
Yeah.
Because the whole film takes place with two characters talking about their feelings. So it's an independent movie.
Right.
Like in the Superman movie, Superman goes on a whole monologue about his feelings.
Yep.
Is that independent? Is that an independent film? It's because he spends the time, you know, like in the new Superman movie. I mean, look, I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I paid Warner Brothers to go see
I
Superman.
paid the money too.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm not even saying that they like, I believe, I mean, I'm going to get, you think you're going to get flack. I'm going to get flack for saying this because I am a true capitalist. Okay. So I absolutely think that if Warner Brothers wants to charge $50 a ticket, they should be allowed to, because I'm not obligated to go spend that money.
You're not obligated, no.
You know?
No. And if they do, watch out.
Right.
Watch out. Because then the streaming will take over, and then the content will take over.
So this is my issue, though. This is the part that I feel like nobody's seeing and nobody understands. Because these corporate accountant types that are at the top of the food chain in Hollywood, because they're not filmmakers. I guarantee you none of them have ever even been on a film set.
David Zaslav sold underwear.
Yeah, this is my point. So they're business people. They're not art people, and they're not film people. And so everything comes down to a spreadsheet. Everything comes down to, like, what's our profit margin? How much is this? How much is that? Blah, blah, blah. Okay,
what's our quarterly financial gain? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Right. So what ends up happening is you have these people that care more about the numbers than they do about the product itself. And they get looped into this, our product costs $100 million, and that's how we're going to advertise it. The most expensive movie of the year, even if the story's
Yeah.
What they should do, and this is the thing, is they're too lost in their own, you know, delirium of everything to realize that if they advertise $5 movie tickets, B movies, that, like, maybe they'll go to streaming in 6 months. I don't know.
Yeah.
But you take these films and you say, here's 30 films in a theater. They're all $5 movie tickets. Then we got Superman for $20, and people are still going to go see Superman.
Yeah, they certainly are.
But then you get people to go out on a Friday night. You get people to actually go into the theater, and they don't want to, like, sit there at home, 5 people in a room all staring at their phones and not talking. Get them out and have them go see a shit movie. This is my point.
Have them go see a B movie. Make a B movie.
And this is my thing about the independent film thing. I don't give a shit if you think my movies are bad. If you're talking about my movie saying that they're bad, it means that I invoked a reaction.
Yeah.
You're sitting there talking about my movie. How could I complain? Call it shit again.
It doesn't matter.
It's like a weird sexual fetish. Tell me I did it bad.
Tell me how bad it is. Yeah. Hit me, whip me. Yeah,
exactly. Like, oh my God, you're talking about me and my film that I made? That's
means
cool.
I succeeded.
Right.
I always tell filmmakers, I say, you know, indifference is the killer of art.
I just said this like 2 weeks ago.
Indifference.
Yes, I love it.
Indifference.
It's true.
When somebody is like, that's good.
It's the worst insult in the world.
Worst reaction you can get.
Right.
Worst reaction.
Right.
And if somebody comes up to me and they says, God, I hate your film. Hate implies passion. You at least have passion for my film. And you have passion, or I hate Kris Salvi. He's a shitty filmmaker. And they very well might be right. But
they'd still pay $5.
They're still paying.
They'll pay the $5 just so that they can go and have, like, and watch the film so that they have something to shit on you for.
That's right.
I'm cool with it.
Yeah, I'm all right with that.
I'm all about it.
I'm okay. And
I love that.
And I don't even care if I see a profit. I care about that. You're talking about my movie and me, and I'm on your lips. You know what I mean? I'm on your mind and I'm on your lips.
Exactly.
So, I mean, I do agree with you that I feel like there should be more B-driven kind of films like they were in the 50s, you know, like the B film kind of made the noir genre.
Yes.
The noir genre is a very weird genre because it's the only genre I feel like that you can warp it into another movie. And is it a noir? Is it not a noir? Noir is not a genre to me. It's more like a feeling. But a lot of those B movies where they were like a film like Detour from 1945, which if you ever seen Detour, it looks like an independent independent movie. It feels like an independent movie. And in a way, it sort of was. It was made for really not a lot of money.
Yeah.
And it kind of gave rise to like these kind of B movies about amoral characters, drifters, private eye detectives that kind of skirted the line between hero and villain.
Yep.
And, you know, kind of psychotic hitmen that are willing to, you know, kill some woman to get $500,000, and they have a cop after them, and that cop is an even worse character than the hitman. You know, that's cool shit. That's like, that's the kind of stuff that I like.
Well, and part of the reason I feel the way that I feel about these B movies,
likability is a killer.
My thoughts on the whole B movie thing are it's evident because of things like YouTube. Okay, what do I mean by that? YouTube is no budget.
No budget.
YouTube is regular people out there.
That's right.
That are just vlogging or podcasting, or they'll go out and they'll make a sketch.
Yeah, skit
type thing.
Skit type thing, yeah.
These videos get millions of views.
Yeah.
Why? Because they're indie. They're free.
They're free.
They're not great quality.
Yeah.
Why do they get millions of views? Because it's people watching other people.
People doing, and people doing stupid shit.
Right. And it's cheap, or it's free, or they're willing to watch the ad for a minute and then watch the video. Whatever it is.
Video,
People are craving that content. Nobody has $35 to go see, you know, your movie just because you spent $200 million on it. It doesn't make it good. And it doesn't make it good enough for me to say, I got to pay the electric bill, but I think I'm going to go to the movies and stuff. Get away from me. What are you talking about here?
Yeah.
The reason that entertainment did so well, I've said this before too, but I'll say it again. The reason entertainment did so well in the Depression was because it was cheap.
It was cheap. Well, that's all people could do. And also,
but they could do it because it was cheap.
Yeah.
It was a fucking nickel.
Nickel.
You know? You go see a live Broadway show or a vaudeville show or you go watch a movie and you go, all right, let me get away from the bullshit for a minute. And we're back in that time again. And this is why I'm saying, so when the strikes happen, right, when in the director's strike and then the writer's strike and then all this other all this stuff, and it kind of shut Hollywood down.
Yeah.
Nobody really noticed because everybody was still on streaming. Everybody was on YouTube, and nobody was even going to the theater to begin with.
No.
Now they're freaking out, running around chasing their tail going, what do we do? We're all dying here. Nobody wants to come back to the movie theater.
That's right,
After COVID, and they shut everybody down. Nobody wants to come back to the theater. What do? I don't know. Maybe make your fucking prices a little bit cheaper.
Yeah. Make everything cheaper. It's funny.
Should do a $1 movie. Fridays $1.
Yeah,
Fridays.
Yeah.
The pinnacle
I would go
of
even
when to
lower.
go.
I'd go 50 cents, 75 cents.
Can you imagine? I mean, there would be hordes and hordes of people that couldn't. They'd be pushing people out of the way.
They really would be.
It'd be like Oppenheimer premiere every day.
Oh yeah, every single day.
Did you see Oppenheimer?
I certainly did. Yeah, and
so did I. That was the last time I was in a theater. Before that was. I would say Revenge of the Sith I went to go see. I was in like third grade.
Yeah.
But I went to go see that, and people were lined up to go see that.
Yeah.
Revenge of the Sith. But Oppenheimer, I was looking around, I'm standing there going, this is what it should be.
Yeah.
This is what it fucking should be.
And you're going to see, I mean, you're not just going to see a Christopher Nolan film, but you're going to see a movie about the guy who invented the atomic bomb.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't invent it, but, you know,
essentially, him and his buddies.
Yeah, he invented, you know, he became the destroyer of worlds.
Right.
You know, and you had the whole Barbenheimer thing, you know,
and
that
it was cheap.
It was cheap.
By comparison to
now,
well, to everything else. The movie was $80 million.
Well,
you know what I mean?
$80 million, yeah. Because now if you make a $200 million movie, you got to break, you know, almost like a movie's got to make $1 billion.
It's insane.
In order for it to make a profit.
Why?
Yeah.
And I've said this before, and anybody who watches this show, please don't ever get it misconstrued. I am not trying to be Jack Warner, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe.
We all, in some way, want to be...
I don't think I'd turn it down.
Yeah, want to be Jack Warner on our terms.
There's a you know the Arizona, the iced tea?
99 cents.
Right? It's always been 99 cents. They interview the CEO of that company, and they say, why is it 99? Why don't you raise your prices? He's like, because we make money.
Yeah.
We don't need to raise the... Why? Why? Just to f*** our customer?
Yeah. Why? Yeah.
So why do we do it in movies? And the reason is because we're spending too much on the movies. What actor actually needs $50 million front end?
They don't.
And 25% back end or whatever. Right? And a lot of the actors would say, I would give that up, and I've talked to actors who feel this way. They'd say, I would give that up just to be able to be acting all the time.
That's right, yeah.
And making a living. I feel the same way. I've said this since day one. I don't need to be a billionaire. If it happens, great, I'll take the money.
Yeah.
But I don't need to be a billionaire. What I want, what will make me happy and feel fulfilled is to be able to tell stories through the medium of film, put them in theaters, and be able to pay my
bills.
Mortgage.
Yeah, pay my bills.
That's what I'm looking for. And I feel like a lot of people are looking for that. Name another industry that is secluded to like 5 companies that nobody else is allowed to touch.
It's insane that...
It doesn't make sense, Chris. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. It's insane that actors and directors in film... I've always said actors and filmmakers get way too much money. I've always said I'd like to see actors. I'd like to see Leonardo DiCaprio. I'd like to see Chris Nolan do movies on a minimum budget. Like minimum wage budget. I'd like to see what I get paid. I'd like to see them make a movie. I'd like to see the chairs switch, the places change.
Sure.
And I feel like they just make way too much money. I have a friend who lives out in the Boston area, so he's used to like, paying, $40 a ticket or whatever. Yeah. I took him out to a place in central Massachusetts, a theater in Gardner, Massachusetts, which I don't know if anyone's familiar with.
Nobody lives there. Nobody's ever been there ever. It's like Narnia.
Yes. Yeah. Everyone in Boston doesn't know. It's funny for people in Boston, they love Massachusetts, but they don't know where anything in Massachusetts is.
Yep.
Yep. To them, Worcester is 3 hours away in the woods.
Yes.
And
is that where you're at? Is Worcester?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm from like the Worcester area, like central Mass area.
That's near like Leominster, right?
Yeah, Leominster. Right now, I'm right next door. I'm Fitchburg. Big, bad, dirty Fitchburg. Yep. And I took him out to Gardner Cinemas. The ticket was $5. He almost had a heart attack. He got a large popcorn, hot dog, soda, candy. It wasn't even $20. He nearly fell on the floor. He was like, what the fuck? And then you go into the theater and it's got reclining chairs, big screen. Yeah. You go to the Coolidge, it's $80 for a fucking ticket, plus the popcorn, that's another $90, and you don't even get the reclining chair. What the fuck is going on?
I'll tell you what's going on. They have one movie. They have one movie, or they have 3 movies, or they have 6 movies there. They need 30. That's what I'm trying to explain. These theaters, it would be so much easier if you can divide your... It's a divide and conquer strategy. It really is what, at the end of the day, is what it is. If you have one thing and you have X amount of overhead, you have to charge based on that. If you have 30 different movies, that everything's fucking digital now, okay? And you gotta have a little bit of a concession. I feel like in the film industry, because we're artsy, everybody is like, well, it's got to be 35 mil, and it's got to be this, and it's got to be
16 millimeter. I know so many filmmakers like that. Like,
right. And
shut the f up.
Well, right, sure. My point is, if you want to make it, if you want to save the industry, if you'd like to continue having a job, okay, you need to be able to like have, and you can't rebuild the theaters that are out there. So these theaters have like 6, 7 screens, right? You have to be able to play digital content on these big screens, and you have to be able to play a variety of it. So in one specific theater room with a screen, you should be able to have like play a digital copy of one thing, and then play the next hour is a different film, and then a different film, and then a different film. You got to be able to have 20, 30 options, because then you can divide your ticket prices over those options. And whichever movies do better, you keep them, get rid of the old ones. Next month, you bring in some of the other ones. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what you need. That's like what any other fucking business is like.
It should be like that, but it isn't, and I don't think
it will be. It will be, because they won't die. They won't want to. We're not going to close theaters. They're still driving.
No,
theaters.
We're not going to close theater. But I think that Hollywood will never really see the error of its ways, because it's been too bought into the corporatization of everything. It's all about the big bills and the big money. I think what needs to happen. I've said this before. What is the saying? Like every 100 years there needs to be a revolution or something like that.
Yeah, it's like the fourth turning type
something
stuff.
like that. Yeah, I think, and I'm really going to get flack from the pro Hollywood people. The people who want to, suck Hollywood's.
Well, sure, and I got to say, like my issue is not Hollywood per se. Like, they're allowed to exist, and they can do, anybody in this country, you can do whatever the hell you want. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm saying that I shouldn't have to capitulate to Hollywood.
No.
when I make a movie, I should be able to walk into a theater and say, hey, I got a film for you. You should put it on your screen.
You should put it on your screen, yeah.
And if it fails, it's on me.
That's right, not on you.
Right, exactly.
It should be like that. It used to be.
Right.
It used to be
this is my
like
point.
that.
So it's like a lot of people think that I'm like anti-Hollywood or that I want Hollywood to all, you know, like be destroyed. Like, no, dude, I don't want Hollywood to be destroyed. They're just too corporate. They're not real filmmakers anymore.
No, they're not. And you know, I don't want Hollywood to be destroyed either.
Right. No, but I'm saying, like, when you talk about the people that will now think, based on what you're about to say, that this anti-Hollywood you're not. You're just talking about, you know?
Hollywood, to me, for some people, Hollywood means movies, cinema. All around.
Yeah.
You show your independent film and then people go, well, it's not Hollywood, you know. Well, it wasn't made in Hollywood, so you know, it's not a real thing. Cinema is bigger than Hollywood. And my whole hot take on this is, well, I don't even know if it's a hot take anymore because there might be a lot of people out there that agree. I think what we need to do is we need to tear down that fucking sign, sell it for scrap, sell it for firewood, and we need to have a fire sale on all the studios. So I guess I am sort of destroying Hollywood in a way. Bulldoze those fucking studios.
Well, they never will. They're building more of them right now, and I'll get into why after.
Yeah,
but go ahead.
But get rid of, you know, there's only like 2 or 3 of the original 5 or 6 or whatever. RKO is gone. I think Columbia was bought out. Yep. You know, MGM is now owned by Amazon. Warner Brothers and Paramount, I think, are one of the original 2. Paramount that came from the Lasky brothers. They need to destroy those studios. They need to destroy them, and they need to bulldoze them, and they need to start from the ground up. And how do they start from the ground up?
Well, they could move to Massachusetts.
They could move to the East Coast, like they originally fucking were going to.
Right.
Back when Hollywood was supposed to be in New Jersey.
Yep.
And all the big studio heads were all East Coast guys looking to make films.
Yep.
And another funny thing that people don't know, Hollywood, that sign now captures people's dreams of making films. That Hollywood sign was a place, and I don't know if a lot of people know this, was to advertise housing.
Yeah.
When it first started, it was used to advertise housing. And it wasn't even, Hollywood is just a place. It's a place in California. It's a name of a town. No different than Bayonne, New Jersey, Fitchburg, Massachusetts.
Yep.
Fucking, you know, wherever, Chicago, Illinois. You know what I mean?
Right.
No different. It's no different than anywhere else. And I think in order for cinema, forget about Hollywood, forget about corporatization. For cinema to survive, they need to start coming to people like me, like you, and other up-and-coming filmmakers in areas, checking out New England and being like, what do these motherfuckers have? Let's take some of these guys.
Yeah, well, that would mean they need to be humble, though, Chris.
They're not going to do that.
They're
not going to do that. And the fact that people, we talked a little bit about this before, and I've talked to this about anybody who will listen. The fact that there are people here in New England on the East Coast, and it's fair to say we are an independent film community.
Of course.
We are an independent film community.
Yeah.
It's astounding to me that there are people around here that go, I need to make my film a Hollywood movie. I need to make it look like a Hollywood movie. I need to make it with a lot of money so that way Hollywood can recognize me. And we need to do things the Hollywood way. We need to have 5 ACs. We need to have 14 grips. We need to have 7 PAs. We need to have, 2 cameramen. We need to have we need to get this. We need to get a big name in this movie. Why, man? Why? When you can do all that shit with 1 cameraman, 1 lighting, couple of actors, and that's in 1 camera, and that's it. And they go, well, it wouldn't be a movie. It wouldn't be a Hollywood movie if we did shit like that. And another thing is that you hear all these people complain about, like, well, on an independent film, we work 18-hour, 20-hour days. We got to stop doing that.
You're going to get me started. You're going to get me in
fucking independent film? I've never been on, the bulk of my work has been independent film. I've never worked on an independent film that has ever run 18-hour days. But you know who does run 18-hour days? Hollywood. And so, but they're willing to turn a blind eye to
because they're getting paid. Everything's about money.
Everything's about the money, and it's also about the prestige. I was talking to a couple of people that worked on
fucking prestige.
Yeah.
You don't know anybody out here that has prestige?
No, but I'm saying when they
That's a big fucking name.
When they go to a Hollywood film set, like I know a couple of people that were just extras on the M. Night Shyamalan. Night Shyamalan.
Oh, yeah, I know people who were on the crew for that.
Yeah, M. Night Shyamalan was running 16-hour, 18-hour days.
Yeah.
People, isn't it great?
Yeah,
isn't it fucking great?
This is awesome.
This is awesome. If you were on an independent film set and
with your friends, by the way.
With your friends.
Yes.
And you were having 18-hour days, you'd be like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah. You doing a meal penalty?
What the fuck, dude?
What are we talking about here?
Yeah, like what?
It's so dumb.
I just talked to a union.
So dumb.
I just talked to a union actor who I wanted for an upcoming film that I'm doing next year or want to do next year.
Yeah.
And you know, it's like very, you know, bare bones right now, but I'm starting to just talk to people.
Sure.
And I was talking to this actor and he was a union guy. And again, you know, I got a lot of gripe with union actors, but I don't have a gripe with the union and what they stand for. I don't have a gripe with, you know, you want to protect your workers, you want your people to have rights. Good, fantastic.
Sure.
But don't be a fucking asshole.
Sure.
And a lot of union actors around here, it seems like they don't even know the rules of their own fucking union. I was talking to one union actor and he's like, just letting you know, I need a break every 45 minutes because I'm a union actor. I can't be eating with any non-union people. I can't be sharing the scene with any non-union people. It's going to be hard for me to be part of your film too because union actors are not supposed to work on non-union films here in Massachusetts. That's the Massachusetts law. What other job, if you got a 45-minute break, I mean, if you got a break every 45 minutes, what the fuck would get accomplished?
Nothing.
Nothing. And then I talked to other union actors and I'm like, what is this? Chris, no, it's not true. I don't know what that guy is going, but that's not the first time I've heard something like that.
Yeah, I just said this on the show that went up last week. I was helping a college kid with his film.
Yeah.
Free. We're all there, by the way.
All there.
For free.
For free.
The lead actress is angry. I mean, sending me as the producer emails, angry, that we don't have stand-ins during the overs during a conversation. So when we're over her shoulder, it shouldn't be her. It should be a stand-in. She should be somewhere else.
What the fuck?
What are you doing?
What
are you doing?
I hear that and I get a tumor.
Yeah.
I hear
and that's the thing. It's like, that's not what I'm signing up for. You know, people think that I'm this like brash asshole, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm just opinionated, and I'd like to work with people who are there to make a good movie.
I want to work with people who want to tell the story with me.
Right. Exactly.
I want collaborators. I don't want someone there hoping that my film will be their fucking ticket to fucking, you know, Glendale fucking California or fucking, you know, Hollywood, California, and they'll be able to get on a bus because they did one of my films. That's not why I make my films. I turned my back on Hollywood to appease Hollywood years ago.
Yeah.
And I find the people that do try to appease Hollywood, they often get stuck in a rut. Those people don't make movies.
No, they're waiters and waitresses for the rest of their lives.
They are.
Saying, will you read my script?
Well, they're not even they're not even waiters occupation-wise. They're waiters just in life.
Yeah.
They're waiting for a phone to ring. The cavalry is not coming.
That's what I'm saying.
They're
and that's my
not
entire
coming.
message. This is my entire message, both to the viewers who watch it, because the people that watch us are people, it's not like the everyday, like the people that watch the show make films in New England.
Yeah.
And my entire message, this whole movement that I'm trying to, spearhead here, that I will die trying, I don't even give a shit, is we need to band together.
We do.
We need, as filmmakers, we need to say, like, whether I like your films or not, you're still a filmmaker.
That's right.
We're still on the same page.
Yeah.
And, like, if you die, I die.
That's right.
So, like, whether I like what you make, whether I like the way you direct films, that we're way the past that.
We're way
we are
past
in a position as an industry where one town in one state, 3,500 miles away from us, is telling us that you have to make films for a couple $100 million or it's not worth watching. And they're simultaneously complaining that, like, nobody's going to the theater, nobody's watching these things, nobody's, what are we going to do? I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to all band together and start making movies. And if they all end up on YouTube and the theaters all die because they're too arrogant to say, we're dying. We need product.
We're on life support.
We need help. We'll take anything. We gotta take anything.
I think that's what they need, but they won't do that. They won't do that.
Then they're gonna die.
Yeah, and I tell people too. I say, like I said before, cinema's bigger than Hollywood. A lot of people forget Europeans make movies.
Oh my God.
The Chinese make movies. French make movies.
Can I just say Korean cinema's
Korean
like
films,
off the fucking charts?
Fantastic.
They're so good.
I watch a lot of foreign. I always tell young and up-and-coming filmmakers, and I don't like to think of myself as a teacher because I still think of myself as a young, up-and-coming filmmaker.
Sure.
But
we all are. The second you think you've made it,
you're done.
You're
done.
That's it.
Stop. Get out.
It's
get out of
over.
here.
Right.
Get out. Because if you think you've made it and you're looking for money and you're looking for fame, you're gonna fucking blow it.
Yeah.
And I tell young filmmakers, I say, look, if you're looking to make your film, don't go out and watch a Hollywood movie because your film is not going to look like that at all. They fucking invent cameras over there. They do a driving scene, they cut a fucking car in half. You can't fucking do that.
Right.
All right?
But that also doesn't mean that your movie's going to be bad because you can't do that.
And I tell them to watch short films on YouTube. Find some good short films and use that as influence. I watch a lot of foreign short independent films that are coming out of Australia, films that are coming out of New Zealand, films that are coming out of Brazil, and I watch them and I go, these motherfuckers also have no money. How the fuck? Because if they have no money and they're able to do it, I should be able to do it because I have no money.
Sure.
I'm not going to look at a $100 million film or $200 million film and go, fuck, I got to do that. I can't. I don't have $200 million fucking dollars.
Right.
But I can make something just as good as a, short Brazilian independent film with good lighting, good storytelling, good character work.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I can do that. And it's insane that, like you said, there's this grasp. There's this grasp on filmmakers where I don't give a fuck if Hollywood dies. I give a fuck if my community dies.
Right.
Because if Hollywood dies, I'll still be making money. And like you said, hopefully at that point, Hollywood will come out here and be like, what are you motherfuckers up to?
Yeah.
What are you guys up to? You guys doing the little film, video, whole movie shit? Well,
and I'd be like, yeah, that's what we're doing.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
And you know what? You should fucking have some of that film, video, home movie shit in your fucking theater.
Yeah.
Because if you had new voices, you'd have new cinema.
It's true.
And around here
that's the other thing I was saying, not to cut you off, but and all due respect, I love Marty Scorsese. He's a great guy.
Oh, yeah.
He's 150. It's over.
Yeah, he is.
You know what I mean?
He is.
Tarantino is not 23 in the video store anymore.
No, he's not.
Like, these people are getting older. And then you have people like Tarantino specifically who are like, I'm only making 10 films. Okay.
Yeah, that's a load of shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Load of shit.
Like, and that's fine if that's what you want to do. I want to make thousands of films. I want to make as many fucking films as I can, possibly make from now until I drop dead of a heart attack on set from screaming at an actor.
Man, I want to die on set. That's what I want to do.
That would be great.
Yes.
I think it was Cecil B. DeMille who was on a set of Cleopatra, was it? When he's up on the big thing and he had the heart attack, he was up on
that might have been Cleopatra or 10 Commandments, one of them.
Yeah. He has the heart attack and then he keeps directing.
He keeps directing. That's what I want. That's what I want.
I love it, dude.
Take over.
Like, where are those people?
I want to know what happened to the Sam Peckinpahs, the people that would come to, the directors that would come to set, and they're just fucking reckless, and they're just fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And they just have this fucking insane vision. They're not trying to, you're on a lot of sets and a lot of filmmakers are like, okay, I'm gonna don't
the second talk, so you go through your safety meeting, you go through all your stuff. The first thing I do when it's like ready break, when you go to start setting up, first thing I do is I'll put on like disco. 70s, 80s disco.
That's right, yeah.
And all of a sudden you see these grips, like at first it's like cheesy YMCA, play some shit like that, right?
Yeah.
And you see the grips like, oh, I'm trying to get stuff done. All of a sudden, dude, you'd be sitting there and you'll look at the grip who's like the world's biggest pain in the ass who doesn't talk to anybody. I love you all. I'm just saying, some of you are like this.
We do, yeah.
But you'll see him start going like this as he's setting up and be like,
all
right, we're in, we're good.
Yeah, they'll start getting into it.
You should be having a good time. We're here making fucking art.
My actors that I have on my film sets, I always say, you know, I don't know. I like to think that I'm a mix somewhere between like Clint Eastwood, Sam Peckinpah, and like John Cassavetes.
Okay.
You know, and Clint Eastwood, you know, he runs a very quiet, not quiet set, but he doesn't yell action or cut. You know, he just goes, okay. Go ahead. Okay, go ahead. And that's what I do, and I've adopted that where a lot of directors, all right, we're rolling, get ready, everybody. All right, we're all set, and action. You know, I'm not like that. You know, I tell my actors, I say, look, man, you're an actor. I'm an actor too. I'm not going to breathe down your neck. I'm here to make adjustments. Yeah. That's all I am. I'm here to make adjustments. We are collaborating together. Yeah. You have ideas. You talk to me. You tell me your ideas. If I like them, let's do them. And even if I don't like them, let's do them. Because some magic might be found.
Sure. For me, I'm big on like let's get one that is in the script the right way, and then do whatever the you want. Yeah. And I believe that cinema and filmmaking is a journey. It's a journey to try to figure out what is this scene about, what is the character about. Because every film that I make, I don't even necessarily know what the it's about. And sometimes those films are way more interesting. Yep. I think it was Nicholas Ray, the great filmmaker of like Johnny Guitar and Rebel Without a Cause and They Live by Night. You know, he said, if it's all in the script, why are you making the film? Yeah, write a fucking book.
Write a book.
Yeah.
Write a book. Write a book that people can read. So the script to me, and I've written most of my scripts for my movies that I've made, it's a blueprint. It's a blueprint. It's not a marriage. It's like not
Curb
the
Your
gospel.
Enthusiasm.
That's
Here's a suggestion.
Yeah,
now
some
do it.
Suggestions. Let's do it. You know, like I made a film called The Last Page, which I think I might have sent to you.
Is that the Spanish guy?
No, that's
he's the writer. And
he's the writer. Yeah.
And the wife wants, and she's not getting any.
Yeah, she's not getting. He's all about writing his new screenplay. That's probably the most anti-Hollywood. You know, that movie ends with the screenwriter saying "F Hollywood." Yeah, and he makes a deal with the executive, which is like a devil-like figure that lives in his big swimming pool. Yep, because the swimming pool represents greed. That's why he's writing the screenplay, not to appease himself, but to appease the swimming pool. Yeah, to get a bigger swimming pool. And I remember that film was supposed to end. Instead of him shaking hands with the executive, which is kind of like my homage to Pink Floyd's "Wish You Were Here" album cover. Okay, yeah. You know, with the guy on fire and and Have a Cigar is playing. That film was supposed to end with him sitting in a chair after he sells the script. A bunch of money rains down, and I remember just being like, no, it's way too on the fucking nose. Yeah. Let's not do it. And everybody was telling me, man, we got time. Let's just do it. I was like, no, man, let's just cut it here. Let's just end it here. I feel like a lot of directors would be like, no, we have to do that because it's in the script. We have to do it. It's in the script that I wrote.
Or worse, it's on the shot list.
It's on the shot list. We need to do it. No, man, we wrap early. The film is good the way it is. I don't need money falling. I can recycle that idea and throw it in something else. And I think I might have. I think I recycled that idea in another movie I did called Call Me After Dark, where a waitress gets shot. She's in a diner. The diner got robbed, and we see the money falling on all of them and shit. But it's a collaboration. You know, it's a collaboration. You know, my actors talk to me. I talk to them. I don't say, hey, man, I'm the fucking director. I'm in charge. You know, you do what I fucking say. No, I go, how the do we make this film? And sometimes I'm serious. Sometimes I'm really serious. I'm like, how the do we do? What do we do here? What do we do? My last film, my most recent film that I made called Lover Girl, which is a film with no dialogue. And it's kind of like a nightmarish dream movie. It follows three women. And you're not sure if one woman is dreaming of another woman or if it's a dream within a dream within a dream. That movie, I had to do so much re-editing in the script. But not even re-editing. It was more like not compromising. It was just adjusting. Yeah. It was adapting. Yeah. Okay, let's adapt to this. Yeah. We can't do this shot, so we need to think of something else. Right. We need to modify. A lot of directors need to modify. You can't do it just because it's in the script. Sometimes in the script is wrong. Yeah. It's wrong. It's wrong.
I'm really big. I'm going to talk to pretty soon. I was going to have him on. I don't even know if I want to say that. I don't like to talk about people that are going to be on before they're on, because then it never happens.
You never know. Yeah.
But the idea, the thing that got me into filmmaking, was the idea of being able to, like, your whole world is in a frame.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter anything that's outside the frame.
No.
It's whatever it looks good in the frame. And I'm sure you've seen those like art installations on Instagram or wherever, where it's like,
yeah, I think I've seen
it looks like a face, and it's all a bunch of pieces hanging from, string on the ceiling. So as you go around it, you see that it's actually like this thing. But if you look at it from the right angle, it looks like a face, or it looks like a thing, and it looks like whatever. That's filmmaking to me.
I agree.
It's whatever it looks. So it's like, if there's an explosion, we can't afford a CG explosion. You take a handful of dirt and dust, you throw it up in front of the camera.
Up, yeah.
Right. That's filmmaking. That was the whole thing of movie magic. There used to be this book in the library, the school library, my elementary school library. I used to go and I would just sit there in the library and like look at the pictures from this book. And it had everything from like The Mask, in that time period, late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
I would go sit there in the library and I would look at all this stuff, and there would be like, I'd show a rifle, and a guy holding a rifle. It was like a still from a movie.
Yeah.
And they cut the guy out, and he's holding a rifle, and then it would show like a drawing of this like air pump that went down to a cannon. And it's like, it's not even a real rifle.
No.
It's rigged up to shoot.
Rigged up to
smoke,
shoot smoke,
stuff,
whatever.
And you're going, oh my God, like, it's all fake. I love that.
Yeah.
Because if it's all fake, it means I can do it too.
That's right.
That's
right. And like, the more you can do it on like a certain level, like, I talk to a lot of filmmakers and they're just like, I gotta fucking, spend fucking $3,000 on a bunch of fucking blank guns or some shit. Why are you spending money on blank guns when you can take baby powder, get an airsoft gun, fill the barrel with fucking powder, shoot the fucking gun, and the powder will fucking blow out, and it will look like fucking smoke?
Because in Hollywood they use blank
guns.
In
Hollywood they use blanks, yeah. So I have to do it the Hollywood way.
That's why.
You got to do it the Hollywood way.
I wonder what would have happened on the set of Rust if they had used baby powder instead of a blank.
You know something? I've told this to people.
I wonder what would happen then, Kris.
I've said this. I was making a film around the same time as Rust, where a character had a gun. And then I heard that they were like, well, the reason that happened is because it was a non-union set. That's why.
See, that's another way that they try and stifle and hold out. You can't be independent. If you're not doing it Hollywood's way, you're not going to be a filmmaker. It's another thing.
It is. And I've been
It was Alec Baldwin,
I've been on so many non-union sets. Do you know how many times somebody has been shot with a pistol and it's actually penetrated their body? I'm going to tell you, 0.
Right.
0. You got Alec Baldwin, one of the biggest stars in Hollywood, holding a gun, and he kills somebody.
Yeah.
And he fucking kills somebody.
Yeah.
Oh, that's because it was a non-union set? That's because it was non-union? Every non-union actor I've seen, they check a gun. Doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
If it's rubber, if it's an airsoft, if it's whatever.
I was just going to say, it could be an airsoft gun.
Yeah, if it's an airsoft gun, I've seen every non-union actor, when they're handed a gun, they check a gun. I did a movie called The Woman Under Inferno Sky. The character had a gun. She wasn't even supposed to fire it, but it was a realistic-looking Colt.
Sure.
And my friend John, if he watches this, he'll probably think this is funny, but I told everyone, I said, this is a gun. It has the firing pin taken out. There's no bullets in here. You can't load it. You can't do anything with it. I'm going to show you right now. Bang, bang, bang. I just put the fucking thing.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Thing to my head. Don't do it.
Don't do that.
Don't do it. If you're not Kris Salvi, don't do it.
Right. Kris did it, so you don't have to.
No. I did it, so you don't have to. And I was like, this is how I know this is how you know we're okay.
Well, yeah.
We're safe. But don't give me this bullshit about it was under a certain budget and that's why. They had the armorer of that movie is the daughter of a famous fucking armorer known for supplying so many Hollywood fucking films.
Yeah.
Don't give me this shit about because it fucking was under a certain budget, that's why it happen.
Yeah. It's all nepotism.
It's all nepotism. She's the daughter of a famous fucking armorer. Do not tell me. Don't tell me that happened because it was non-fucking union. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that bullshit. Because if that was non-union sets, we'd be killing people every single day.
Exactly.
No,
exactly.
They had a lot of money to get blank guns. There was probably maybe like $500,000 probably just dedicated to just weapons.
Yeah,
it's a Western. You know, I can't afford $500,000 in Westerns and guns. You can't afford $500,000 in guns. We're gonna get some piece of shit Walmart gun, and we're gonna let you know. You know, hey, this is unloaded. It's a sick. The Hollywood world has infiltrated the independent New England film scene.
It has, and it's kind of tainted. I would say it's tainted the mindset of some of these kids. But like when they're coming out of Emerson or they're coming out of whatever.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, I can stay here now and make Hollywood films. But and like you can. See, this is my point. Is like you can.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. And Hollywood has money, and if they have money to come here and they want to utilize the tax incentive and everything else, that's fine. But my biggest thing is don't tell me that just because you make movies out here that I can't.
Yeah, that I can't do it. And it goes back to the gatekeeping. It goes back to the gatekeeping about.
So what's the future for Kris Salvi? Where do we go from here? Are you going to help us combat this bullshit?
I want to. I mean, I feel like every film I make, we combat it.
Yeah.
You know, every film I make, I feel like we come together and say, look, let's be independents. Let's be true artists.
Yeah.
Let's not get the little pat on the head. It's, oh, you're a little independent.
Or why don't we pat each other on the head?
Why don't we pat each other on the back and say, good job? I've always said independent filmmakers are kind of ashamed of each other and ashamed of being independent fillmakers.
That's why I say it's a measuring contest all the time.
It is.
And we don't even mean for it to be that way.
No.
But, it's like you got to accept, like, not every film is good, but I will say that art in general is extremely subjective.
It is. It's art.
Like I guarantee you there's a movie that you love that I hate.
I'm sure. And sure
vice versa.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a movie you love that I'm like, I can't stand that movie. That's not cinema.
Exactly.
You know? And we should be coming together as a community to build, to make more films, to help each other make more films, and not have to worry about appeasing the gods in the desert that are never going to see your film, never let you into the club. And people are going to say, well, Kris didn't make it in Hollywood, so that's why he's fucking.
I love it. I love it when people say, well, it's because these guys didn't make it.
No,
okay.
I have relatives, I have family members that are executive heads. They're creatives.
Yeah.
And they have told me straight up when, sometimes they come to the East Coast or I go there and I see them. They've told me straight up, if your films were features, we would never, ever, ever fund these movies. We would never do that. I had a chance. I saw it. I looked around. I said, this ain't for me. When you're an independent filmmaker, you have the one thing that Hollywood filmmakers, they strive and they fight for. And you know what that is? Final cut. You have final cut.
Yeah, look at, what's his name there?
That's a gift.
Not Paul Thomas Anderson. What's the guy's name? Denis Villeneuve.
Oh, yeah.
Just talking about this a few weeks ago. Like, he's directing the next James Bond.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's got to take orders.
He doesn't have final cut. He is director in name only.
In name only. The studio is going to cut that film.
Yeah. He's the guy who's sitting in the chair that says director.
Yeah.
Because they need somebody to sit in the chair.
He yells action and cut. They need a body.
Right.
And here, you don't get no studio telling you what to fucking do.
Exactly.
There's a gift here. It's a gift, and it's a shame that filmmakers on our level can't see that. Because it's at the end of the
other thing too, Kris, is like, and I don't want to get political. I don't want to get political because it's not worth it.
Sure.
But I would say that there is that the people in the film industry tend to be
a certain kind.
Yeah. But I want to say it the right way. They're active politically.
Yes. Yeah.
If there's a protest, they're there. If there's a union strike, they're out there picketing. Like, they are an active community.
They are, yes.
For what they believe in. You want to get pissed over Jimmy Kimmel getting just tell me it's a free speech thing.
Yeah.
Why the can't our movies get into theaters? You want to talk about free speech?
Yeah. Well, they're all.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, they're all about appeasing the Hollywood gods.
That's what I'm saying. So it's not really free speech.
Yeah, but they won't appease me.
Right.
They won't appease my my film.
Exactly.
They won't let my film, if I show up with a hard drive to Coolidge Theater and say, play my movie, they're going to go, why? What the f***? Because it's not about the money.
Right.
The money is magic, but it's also murder.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And it murders the creative side of filmmaking. I think it was Orson Welles that said, being limitless is the death of creativity. If you are limited and you can only do so much with what's in your pocket and what's in your prop bag and what kind of actors you have, you need to be creative.
Yeah.
And you need to make, and by doing that, you will make magic.
Yeah.
You will make magic.
Yeah. He said, I saw a recent clip of him, of Orson Welles. Might have been on your story. I don't know. Maybe. Did you put him up recently?
Yeah, I put up a lot of
where he was
stuff.
saying that people are so soaked in, young filmmakers are so soaked in films these days.
Oh, the homage.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no
they
more
watch.
homages.
I don't want to see another goddamn homage.
I love that.
Ever. Yeah.
And I saw recently Ridley Scott just came out. He did an interview where he said that the film industry is just flooded with mediocrity.
Yeah.
It's not.
No.
And it's not that the films aren't mediocre. A lot of them are. But there's no art.
No.
There's no, like, and I mean mainstream film-wise,
Yeah, mainstream,
right?
There's no soul.
There are tons of artists. They make great films. They're never going to,
they can't get a budget. They can't get a budget to save his life, you know?
They're extremely creative, especially here. Especially here.
Oh, yeah.
And this is not to downplay anything that's going on in Atlanta or anywhere else, but I will tell you, when you're making a movie in Massachusetts, when you're making a movie on the East Coast in New York or in Massachusetts, the people involved give a shit.
They do.
They're really cool. We have a great community out here.
If you can find that great community, if you can find those great people, you need to stick with them.
Yes.
It's why I've made the same movie. It's why I've made, same movie. Maybe I have made the same movie.
The same movie over and over.
But that's why I've made movies with the same people for fucking, 10, 15 years.
You have to.
Same crew, same cast, because they understand the Salvi way and they understand the independentness of it. The people that I've had on my sets that are like, dude, what the fuck, man? I need to get the fuck out of here, dude.
They never come back,
The Jets game is fucking playing, dude. I'm not in this to fucking be a creative artist. I'm in this to fucking make some money. Guess what? They ain't coming back. And you know what? They probably don't want to come back. That's okay.
Yeah, that's all right.
That's okay. I won't have them. I'll get some little young fucking kid that just wants to have a vision.
Before they're corrupted.
Before they're corrupted by the system and they see Hollywood. Because the old Hollywood that I watch, I think another reason why I don't try to go out to Hollywood and try to make it or try to be one of them is the Hollywood that I loved growing up. The 30s, the 20s, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, the 60s. It's gone. It's gone.
So, okay.
It's gone.
I don't think it's gone.
You don't think it's gone?
I think it's gone out of Hollywood.
Yes.
I think this is the best part. First of all, without technology improving,
we wouldn't have
we wouldn't be sitting right here.
Yeah, no, we wouldn't.
Okay. Number one, because of the improvements in technology and because of the corporatization of Hollywood.
Yeah.
We're still here. We're here in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you and me would be sitting in LA right now, being like, we're making a movie and it's going out there.
Yeah,
and
it's going out there, yeah.
But they got too gatekeepy and they got too corporate. And so the 20s and the 30s and the 40s and the 50s of the innovators and the people that were like, we're making this movie. And like I was watching recently, there was in the silent film era of all the extras that used to die on set because they would just explode things for real.
Explode things for real.
I'm not saying that we should go back to that.
No.
But those were artists, Fellini and all these people who are like, you watch the stuff. Is it the highest quality in the world? Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. Maybe you can see the string hanging.
I think the cheaper, the better sometimes, honestly.
Not?
Yeah.
But why not?
Yeah. Why not? There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that because the cheaper it is, the more you get deeper to telling a story about people. You're not telling a story about a special effects. You're telling a story about people. And all those films, they went out. I mean, a lot of them shot on a studio lot, at least in Hollywood. But you watch Fellini, you watch Godard, you watch Melville. They shot on location.
Yeah.
They were in the street. John Cassavetes, one of my personal heroes.
Yep.
John Cassavetes went out on the street. He shot on the street, guerrilla style. And he had this atmosphere. You can just watch it in his films. It bleeds through.
Yeah.
Of this.
John Waters is another one I would say is not bad.
Same thing, too.
Yep.
He knew, John Cassavetes knew, he didn't need Hollywood to make his films. I think he has a quote where he says, "We use the studio to destroy them."
Yeah, yeah.
And I feel like that's what we need to do. We need to make our own shit so that we can destroy Hollywood.
Yeah.
Do I think we will destroy Hollywood? Probably not. I think the Hollywood will
no, because they're gonna change.
They're gonna change.
They're gonna go AI. They're
Yeah.
gonna go these.
I think they're gonna.
Have you heard of these micro dramas now that are huge?
I've heard of that phrase, but I don't know what it is.
Okay, so it's big in China right now, and it's coming over here.
Yeah.
It's TikTok for short films that are a minute. So they are story, as opposed to like doing a TikTok dance.
Yeah.
Right?
You tell a story.
Now it's like you cast it and tell a story, and it's like a piece or a scene, a 1 minute scene and they're episodes, 1 minute episodes, and they're scripted and they're whatever. And they're making them for like $1,500, $2,000 as like a thing. And so there's tons of money being pumped into these micro dramas right now, which is cool and whatever.
Awesome.
But that's the direction that Hollywood's going. They're looking for the next gimmick. They're looking for the next thing that is like when they invented widescreen after television came out.
Yeah, they invented widescreen and VistaVision and all that shit.
Right.
I told somebody recently, I said, I think maybe in 30, 40 years, I think cinemas are going to start playing like Insta Reels.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch movies vertically. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't.
I don't even know what the that is.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I don't either. Now, for advertising purposes, believe me, I'm going to make reels all the time. Okay. But when you go to see my movie, it's going to be.
It's going to be a movie.
Right.
It's going to be a movie.
Right.
It's the same thing I feel about like short films versus features. People they go, well, it's just a short film. No, it's not. It's a little movie.
Right. Right.
It's
a good
not
point.
Every story needs to be a feature.
It's a good point. I will say that we need to make as much as we can.
Yeah, step up our game and.
Well, we need to start making features. We can't complain that our movies aren't in theaters.
Yeah.
I will say no one's going to pay $30 to go watch a short film. In a theater.
No. But if you charge the $1,
it's true.
They might go watch a short film. They might go watch 10 short films.
It's true.
You know what I mean? And I've done. It's been a long time since I made a feature. I haven't made a feature probably.
I'm making one next year.
I'm trying to do one right now.
Yeah.
I'm working on the story of Jennifer Fairgate, and that's going to be a feature. I'm hoping to do it next year, but you can't demonize a certain format. If you make a short film, you made a film. You made a movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you made a feature, you made a movie.
Yeah.
You can't demonize the art, and I feel like so many people do within the artist community.
Well, that's what I don't understand. To go back to the John Waters thing as an example, right? Like there is literally nothing quality about John Waters' films.
No, and he knows it.
And he loves it.
That's what he loves.
By the way, that's not a negative. I'm not shitting on John Waters by saying that.
No,
he
one
agrees.
Of the greats.
But he wanted to make it, and he had to do it within the budget and within the means that he had.
Yeah.
It was a compulsion. I have to make cinema.
I have to
make
do
a movie. I have to tell this story with my drag queen friend.
Yes.
Very important.
That's right.
Okay? That's wonderful. We herald him as this pioneer of this, he made Hairspray, and he did all this good stuff, and he's amazing. And then you say, well, why don't you make your film? I don't have any money. Neither did fucking he, man.
He didn't have any money either.
That's the whole point. He didn't have any fucking money either. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Go make your movie.
Joe, do it. Go do it.
That's
Just go
where
do
I'm
it.
at with it.
I talked about this on another interview. I know a filmmaker. He's a really nice guy. He's a really fantastic dude. I love working with him. He's so passionate.
Yeah.
But every single time he comes to me with a script, I go, what happened to all your other films? Why are you doing this one now? And he goes, well, man, I mean, those other movies, I'm just waiting for, I need $500,000. I'm waiting for someone to give it to me.
It just makes me want to strangle the person I'm talking to.
What the man?
Right.
My budgets, and I know people will on me for this, but I don't care. My budgets are less than a cup of coffee.
Yeah, yeah.
And I have to go and do them. You got to
tell the story.
You have to tell your story. You have to say what's on your mind, because if not, you're going to drive yourself fucking ragged, and you're going to go fucking nuts.
Yeah.
If you're not already for being in this industry, if you're not already.
But that's the thing, right? Is like we already are. And
yeah.
I just feel like there's so much passion and there's so much stuff with these people in our industry.
Yeah, there are.
There's so much there.
It's so wonderful.
And it's amazing. And they just put that energy, and they allow Hollywood to say, oh yeah, we'll let them pick it for like 7 hours a day for 3 months. That way they're not doing anything.
No. Yeah.
They're not doing anything. They're complaining about their contract. What should happen, right, is the union should say, You're not going to give us what we want? No problem. We're done working with you.
Yeah.
We're done. We're going to continue making movies. We're not going to work for Warner Brothers anymore.
No.
They can't do that because of the money, and they're afraid and all this other stuff. All it takes is one time.
That's right.
It takes one time for people to stand up for themselves and the people around them that are getting f***ed over and go, you know what? You kind of suck.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all. You kind of suck.
You kind of suck. You're kind of stupid. You know, you're kind of this, you're kind of that.
And I kind of want to make movies. So go f*** yourself.
I saw a thing. We were talking about Marty. I'm a big Marty Scorsese fan.
Marty.
Love him. I'm glad he announced that he's making another film. We'll see if it happens, hopefully.
Yeah.
But when COVID happened, I learned that Marty had made a short film. They announced that Marty had made a short film. And
He made a short film during COVID?
During COVID.
Okay. Yeah.
And I was so excited to see it. I was like, oh, he made a lockdown film. Maybe he got De Niro in his apartment and maybe it's a one location type of film. It's literally just him talking and then him with his camera iPhone showing his like DVD collection and editing parts of The Third Man together, which granted, yes, that is a movie. But Marty, I'd like to see you
do the big shave again.
Do the big shave or do what I do now with my budget.
Yeah.
I'd like to see you do what I do with my budget. Because all these Hollywood directors, they go, well, shit, man, I can't find the funding, so it's not going to happen. Motherfucker, you are worth $20-40 million, dude.
Dude, it makes no sense. Hundreds of millions of dollars.
You are in the industry where you can go and grab a camera and you can make a fucking unsanctioned fucking independent short film. Let's see the first independent. Let's see the big shave again. Let's see. Let's see. It's not just you, Marty, again.
Right.
Let's see. Let's see you do this, Marty. And you know what? We'll trade places for a day. Let's see what I can do with your $400 million budget.
Do you know what I could do with $200 million?
Oh my God. I could blow up Fitchburg and rebuild it again. I can do so much with $400 million.
But what I don't understand, right, is like, how is it possible that back when they did Cleopatra, Ten Commandments, these big Caligula, and all these different big films where they rebuilt the Roman Empire and all this other shit.
Oh, yeah.
And they did it for like $3 million.
Yeah.
Why is it now $200 million and everything's done on a computer?
Well, you know.
Do you know what I mean? Why is it more expensive by like 25-fold, and it's all done in a computer anyway?
I've always said the real magic of Hollywood is the bookmaking.
Yeah, the accounting department.
The accounting part.
Yeah, it's true, man.
You know, it's like Bowfinger. You know, if you've seen that Marty, when Steve Martin's like, you know, movies cost $20 million. No, every movie costs just $2,000. That's after the net, gross, nut, everything. Yep. Deep down inside, every movie costs $2,000.
That's true.
And, you know, like, that's really the budget because DiCaprio needs $50 million so he can go scuba diving in Bermuda on a spaceship.
Right.
You know, all these people, I'd like to see him get paid what I get paid when I'm an actor in a movie. Or when I'm a filmmaker, I make my movies for nothing. I get nothing. Yeah. I get nothing.
Yeah.
I get nothing except the fact that I need to make this film and I'm able to accomplish it. I get nothing in the end.
Yeah.
And people don't see that, you know?
Yeah.
They equate that with he doesn't know what the he's doing.
Right.
Did John Cassavetes, did he not know? Of course he knew. He knew to take a camera and go out on the street and have the actors hold the camera and be spontaneous and be impulsive and get shots right then and there. Steal them. Do the Werner Herzog method. Fake permits. Do what you want. Deep down inside, no cop is going to bust you for the camera.
Nobody cares.
Unless you have a gun in the middle of the street and you're shouting 9/11 was an inside job. You know, no cop is going to bother you if he sees two people on the street talking in front of a camera or any. And you know what? I've shot movies where people have guns out on the street and they're running or whatever. We did it so quick, so fast. We just did it under the cover of night, under the cover of like a lot of people. And people will go, oh, that's crazy. That's
you gotta be smart.
You gotta be smart about doing the bad shit. You gotta be good about being bad.
Yeah.
I'm really good about being bad. As a matter of fact, being bad and making mistakes is the most original thing that I do. And and being bad and making mistakes, sometimes that's where the true magic comes from.
Yeah.
It's not this fucking thing where it's like, okay, gotta stick to this, gotta stick to that. You know, they do it in Hollywood this way, so I need to do it in Hollywood. We're gonna need to get, you know, permits. We're gonna need to block. You don't need to block off shit, man. Unless you're stopping the fucking, you know, what is it? The fucking tunnel to Logan.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's don't what it need is. To close off. You don't need that fucking permit.
Shutting down Hanover Street.
Yeah, you're shutting down Prince Street.
Right.
You're shutting down Government Center.
Right.
You don't need a fucking permit. You grab that fucking camera, you go out on the street, you make your fucking movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's true.
You do it. And if the cops come and they're going to tell you to get the fuck out, whatever, go, wait. We used to pretend to pack up. We only got bothered ever twice. One time a cop came and said, you're blocking the sidewalk or whatever. You need to leave. Okay, sorry about that. We're done. And we pretended to back up. We waited till that cop left and we just reset up again. And that was it. Well, I don't even think we fully packed the equipment. We just made it look like we were packing up. People walking to and for their car. They don't know what any of that equipment is.
Yeah.
You don't need to do it the Hollywood way. The Hollywood way is dying. Make your own industry.
Yeah.
Make your own industry.
And support other people in your industry.
That's right.
Stop trying to be better than. Just exist within the realm. You know what I mean? Be better than yourself.
That's right. The only person you need to be better than is yourself or your last film.
Right.
Be better than your last film. Don't worry about Warner Brothers calling you. Don't worry about Paramount calling you. Don't worry about trying to go off into LA. I see so many filmmakers around here that do it the LA way, and I say, just get on a bus, man.
Yeah, why are you here? Why are you here? My biggest piece of advice moving forward with all indie filmmakers is always be the best that you can be for you, because if you're doing this for fame and fortune, you're never going to get there.
No, you're going to blow it.
But if you're the best at what you do, fame and fortune is inevitable.
It's inevitable.
So do it the best that you can possibly do it. Support your community, support your friends, stick together, make films, and enjoy your life. That's it.
That's it.
Believe me, there's crazy people enough like me that'll go out there and fight with theaters until we can get all of our movies in there.
I want to go back to the way John Cassavetes did it. He carried canisters under his arm and said, please play my film.
Yeah, I don't see why we shouldn't.
Why can't we do that?
Yeah. Well, the cool thing is because the community is growing so much in this out here.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing with Hollywood. Hollywood comes and injects money over here, so everybody gets involved.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, I don't have to move out there because they're going to shoot the next 3 seasons of Walking Dead out here.
Yeah.
So they stay here.
They do.
Waiting for the work to come. But that has created this huge influx of a ton of filmmakers here, which is great.
It's great. It is.
But we got to stick together. Now, we can't, like, fall apart. You know what I mean?
We got to remain independent.
Right. Oh, 100%.
We got to remain independent.
Yeah.
Just because you work 2 days as a PA or a gaffer or a lighter on fucking Dexter doesn't mean that you're a fucking Hollywood filmmaker and you have the right to shit on my little fucking $200 budget film.
Right. Right. If anything, you should be saying, I have all of this experience on a high budget set. I'd love to help you on your $200 film for free.
I'd love to help you for free.
Right.
And I'd like to stay out here because my work is more needed out here than it is out in LA. In LA, there's fucking 500 of you.
Yeah.
They all know people.
Well, that's part of the reason these people with the attitude, that's why they stay.
Yeah.
Because if they go out there, they're nobody.
Oh, yeah.
So
well,
if
that's
they're
the thing.
here,
they're a
they
big
can,
fish.
Right.
They're a big fish in a puddle or whatever.
Right.
And they go, well, yeah, you know, I do it the right way. I do it the right way. You know what? Your work sucks.
The industry
You
standards.
know what? The industry, your work sucks. Start doing it the wrong way.
Yep.
And you might actually get something different, creative, and magical because you are following an out-of-date manual.
Yeah.
It's an out-of-date manual. Us independents.
That refuses, by the way. The manual refuses to update.
Oh, it refuses. And it refuses to let you in
You're not allowed in. It's not going to update. It's dying and complaining that it's dying, and you're wondering why. Like, what do we do?
It's
just make films.
Just make it. Just make your films and make it and do it the independent way.
Kris Salvi, where can people follow you?
Oh man, they can follow me home. No, they can follow me. They can follow me to the nearest theater. I have an Instagram page. It's Private Eyes Films. Private_films_films.
I'll put it underneath.
Yeah, underscore. I don't have a Facebook anymore. I got the fuck off that thing.
Yeah, I just got off TikTok too. I don't need that crap,
and really, I have an Instagram. I have a YouTube channel. Just follow Rick Silvis.
There you go.
RIKSILVAS. You can also look up Private Eyes Films there. I have a channel. I usually update that, but I'm updating my Instagram a lot.
That's good.
And you can follow me just on Instagram. It's Christopher Salvi. Christopher with a K.
That's awesome. Thanks so much for coming in. Appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed already, go home. I don't know. Do something else. Yeah. No, subscribe to the channel, and we'll be back next week. Thanks so much.
Go make your film.
Go make your film.